the earlier story where the highlight of the year 2020 so far is a global pandemic that has tested people and governments alike. Strides that had been made in various sectors towards sustainable development goals have been set back, some by decades. The Goalkeepers, which is an initiative of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, is launching this year's report, which begs the question, how quickly can low-income countries catch up? Najma Ismail spoke with Melinda Gates, and here's the interview.
After 20 years of progress in helping people overcome poverty and disease, the coronavirus pandemic has hit hard, wiping out some of these gains and consequently plunging the world into a recession that is likely to get worse. As it is, many countries are bracing for another surge in cases.
37 million more people have dropped below the extreme poverty line of $1.90 a day. That's tragic. And quite honestly, 25 years of vaccine work has been set back because of this global pandemic.
The 2020 Goalkeepers Report is looking at the hardest hit countries, which will need support to make sure that what should be temporary setbacks do not become permanent. This report states that extreme poverty has gone up by 7% in just a few months.
How do we get back on track? How do we do that?
Well, we continue to invest in our primary healthcare systems and in universal health care because that's where moms and dads go for themselves and their children when they're ill or when they need vaccines. And so we continue to invest there, and we continue to make government cash transfer payments as much as we can while we're during this time where people are losing their economic opportunity.
COVID-19, she says, has had disproportionate effects on women who are losing their jobs at twice the rate compared to men.
Well, we know that women have disproportionate shocks because of COVID-19. While more men are dying at a higher rate, women are the ones losing their jobs at twice the rate. Women are 70% of our healthcare workers around the world. Women are the ones taking care of the young, taking care of the elderly. And so we have to have data about their lives to know how to invest and help them, since the women are lifting up everybody else in society and keeping us all together.
To close such gaps, Melinda recommends that governments need to invest in women, in addition to getting more data on them.
If you have a government cash transfer payment, make sure the cash gets in the hands of the woman. Because what happens compared to her husband is she spends the money more prudently. She spends it on her health, her family's health, her children's health. She spends it on nutrition and food for the family. So make sure that women still have economic opportunity wherever they are. We don't have data about women's lives, and so we don't know how to invest in them. And yet we are seeing women come up with ingenious solutions. They're coming up with pop-up stands in their communities to offer food and essentials.
Your message to women who want to shatter the glass ceiling, women who want to succeed in every aspect of their lives, but they feel stifled.
I would say continue to use your voice. Surround yourself with other women and men who help your voice come out, who have your back. Don't shy away. This is our moment.
How are you dealing with the pandemic? What keeps you going? And what are your biggest lessons you've learned during this time?
You know, just like other families, it's affected us. You know, Bill and I are working from home. And our kids are home from school. But we're lucky, right? We're not struggling to put a meal on the table. And what keeps me hopeful is when I see these amazing acts of human kindness, one family to another, taking care of an elderly person, reaching out to someone. And so I try every day, we try at our dinner table to list one or two things we're grateful for that day.
While the reality is that some people are in dire straits, Melinda says it is not all doom and gloom because there is hope in global cooperation.
We are seeing progress in the sense that in the last 4 months, a global group has come together called the Act A Accelerator. They're working on behalf of the world on a vaccine, on therapeutics, on diagnostics, and on getting PPE out there everywhere it needs to go.
COVID-19, according to the report, is not a national issue, but a global one that will call on all countries to work together, especially when a vaccine is out.
This is a disease that crosses every border. And so even if you tamp it down in 90% of the countries and you still have it in 10%, it's going to bounce all over the world. So it's going to take global cooperation to say when the first vaccine dosages are available, they don't just go to high-income countries. They go to healthcare workers everywhere. We need an equitable response for the manufacturing and the distribution of the vaccine.
The prospects and eventual availability of a COVID-19 vaccine will present the world with an opportunity to actualize the global cooperation currently being seen. The future beyond COVID-19 is uncertain, but Melinda Gates sees hope in countries working together. Najma Ismail, KTN News.
Well, earlier on during the show, we asked you on the Twitter poll, should the Senate accept President Kenyatta's proposal to unlock the revenue sharing formula? Just sampling some of your tweets as we wrap up today's edition of News Center. Wilson Ndongo Njenga says the county allocation formula should be open